And we're back.
Back again.
So.
Oh, yeah. I guess the first thing is, Jayla, did you decide what Kelariis is going to do?
Yes, I decided I was going to wait.
Yeah, until the morning.
Yeah. Well, yeah, after the other conversations that happen.
After the debrief.
Yeah.
Which
Well, it's
we kind of
it's
had one
related,
already,
which is
but
why it was kind of a thing that I was like, maybe it makes more sense to wait after, knowing that there's a conversation to be had.
Do I read any interesting books before I go to bed?
You read many interesting books. However, you do not have nearly enough time to extract any useful information from them.
Damn it. To be fair, I'm probably far too excitedly just flicking through the first few pages of each one to try and figure out what they are.
It's cataloging.
And also,
start.
yeah. And also doing what Grim told me and checking that there's no magical traps on any of them.
Okay. So, the night passes without incident, and you all awaken the next morning. Food is prepared and served as usual. And
I do actually want Elizabeth to do something in the morning.
Okay.
I want, because Elizabeth kind of wants to get up as early as possible, and then rather than going straight to canteen for food, she's gonna go up to the war room. She's just gonna leave a piece of paper there, and then go out into town.
Okay.
To buy 10 gold's worth of spellcasting components for Find Familiar. Yeah.
Okay.
10 gold's worth of charcoal, incense, and herbs.
So
to be consumed by fire in a brass brazier.
Okay, yeah, we will come to that shortly.
Yeah. I have the contents of the piece of paper she's left on the table written down as well.
Okay.
So I will just copy and paste it when it's relevant.
So, I guess the rest of you wake up, come downstairs to eat food, and notice that Elizabeth is subsequently absent.
oh, it's not looking good, is it?
Has anybody seen her?
Well, it's not like we can catch her, so I guess we'll see what happens.
Can I track her?
You can certainly try.
A thing I can do?
Like, I guess before we track her, do we want to track her?
Why would we not?
Well, I guess we want to see.
Probably
Like,
try.
I guess we should probably check if it's not something bad. That's true.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm at least gonna like take a. I'm gonna take a I guess like a normal like look around because like you can do two things at once.
Okay. Yeah, you would notice the piece of paper on the table.
Oh, okay. Well.
What does the piece of paper say?
It's her pros and cons list.
Okay.
Oh,
From
yeah,
for
it's
going.
the
Pros and cons list she wrote for going to see the Cabal.
If she went to see the Cabal, I'm about to lose my shit.
Yeah, that would be true.
Like,
I'm gonna immediately go and. I was trying to think of who I'd go to first, but probably Arya, honestly. Just like have the paper and then like pass it to you, and then run off to find Grim. Assuming that you're not in the same physical space, because I assume Arya's gone outside, whereas Grim is still in, I guess, the mess hall. I'm not really sure.
Well, like I trust you guys to find her. Like it's not like this is a massive place. We've got 2 buildings to check.
Look. Anyways, yeah, I passed the paper off to Arya, and then like run off to get Grim, I guess. And just kind of be like, she left her pros and cons list that she was talking about, and I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but
Well,
Don't like that.
it's yeah. See, I was kind of hoping to address this kind of behavior. But yeah, it's going to be a little tough. Well, we'll. I guess, like, I imagine she would have said something if she was gonna just leave. So, let's just have breakfast and we'll see what happens.
Should we not try to find her now? Because if she did go,
Like,
the
if
earlier we
she-
start.
but like, I feel
Wait,
like
we
this
still
was-
have the crown, right? Like, we still have that.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we have the crown.
Okay.
Like, like the truth is, if she left a note, that means like this is not a surprise. Like, unless there were no signs of any struggle anywhere, right?
No.
So yeah, in that case, if she doesn't want to be found, okay, I guess you could find her, Arya. But
I could probably find her.
like, what do we really want to chase her down again? Just like I'm having flashbacks to Rourke's Gate, yeah.
I
And
mean,
this
I think
time
we
she-
need to drag her back here and make it clear that if she does this shit ever again, she's off the team. Because we literally cannot deal with this. This is a safety hazard.
yeah, like, and on top of that, if we're gonna have to trust her to, well, cast a spell that's only she can dispel to keep this thing secret, I don't have high hopes for keeping it secret. Well, we'll eat first and then like take our time to find her. Because I just don't like if. Yeah, I don't see the point in chasing her right now. Like I'm not stopping you from going. Don't get me wrong.
I
We
just-
don't even know where she would have gone. It's the problem.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Vandal might be up already, or like maybe like if she left a note, Vandal may have noticed. I imagine Vandal's an early bird.
Yeah, we can ask him.
Vondal's definitely an early bird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vondal was always an early bird.
Yep. He is up and awake. He has made breakfast for everyone.
Yeah.
Probably
So
in the kitchen in that case then.
yeah, he might know something. You want to go ask or?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I can.
Oh,
I can go.
yeah. I guess that's fine. You
I
can
mean,
go
it doesn't
too.
really matter, I guess, at the end of the day who goes.
You sort of wander.
Alright.
You wander into the kitchen, update Vondal on the situation. And he sort of takes off the apron, passes it to you, Grim, and sort of says, well, if she's gone off somewhere, then well, I might have a way to find her."
Oh yeah, that would work. I completely forgot you could do that.
Oh, I guess technically I could also do that, but I don't know if she's in range.
No, I'm thinking this is having
Yeah.
a look on a person.
Yeah,
I was
but-
thinking of a different location spell, but I don't think she's in range for that.
But that's it.
Yeah, Vondal comes back with a familiar chalice that you bought for him all the way back in Mardan. And yeah, he will cast a spell. So Elizabeth, I need you to make me a Wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay. It's against magic, so. Oh wow, that's bad.
Okay, yeah, you fail.
That's
Also,
a bad roll.
Like, oh, wait, don't you only have magic resist if you have your
Nope, I've hit 14th level to abjuration. I get it all the time now.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
And I
That's
take half damage from spells as well, so it's that but better.
okay.
Well, this
That's
one
good to-
doesn't deal
good
any
to check.
damage, so.
No.
But yeah, you fail.
But yeah, wow, 10. That's bad.
Wait, you also have minus 11 to the saving throw.
Oh right.
Because
Right.
he is familiar with you and he has a possession belonging to you.
Oh yeah. What does he have that's mine?
Anything that's left in your room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
So we just picked up a pen
Um,
and dropped.
Literally anything.
Like, yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So yeah, literally, Vondal like stares into the cup for a few moments, before looking up and says, "She's in Ivywood Market, in shopping, as far as I can tell."
Shopping for what?
She did mention wanting to call back Scarlet. But I don't know why she would
Yeah.
leave the paper.
She is a little, I guess it's called scatterbrained. You know, trying to think about too many things at once.
Yeah, I guess.
So, like, thinking like, oh yeah, I should leave this for the meeting, but forgetting to actually tell us when and how long she's going to be gone for.
Well, if she's looking for components or spells, she's gonna be a bit out of luck, I would imagine. With the way things are, I don't think there's been much in the way of trade, and Ivywood Market generally doesn't tend to doesn't tend to house a lot of wizarding component supplies.
But these are fairly, like, she mentioned fairly basic stuff earlier, or like yesterday, not earlier.
Incense and things she might find, but
And plus, due to the fact that all the caravans are stranded there, or should be stranded, they might be looking for a quick buck.
that's true. Well, either way, she owes me 10 silver of no, what is it? 5 silver of holy water.
Oh, I guess you got that. I guess you can take it from the well, what would we call it? The treasury.
Yeah.
Just hang on a minute. Why does she owe you money? You guys are the ones who wanted to spy on her.
Well,
You're the one that ran off.
yeah, you ran away without any warning. They were forced to use a spell to locate you.
We are literally in a situation where like any of us could be kidnapped at any time.
Yeah.
Like I think we're right in that we should worry if one of us just disappears. Especially the member that has been making questionable choices lately.
I'm just saying.
Anyways. Thank you for checking Vondal. I guess if she doesn't come back within what, a couple of hours? Maybe we get worried then. I kind of like
Oh.
look at the others.
In that case, shall we postpone the meeting because he is kind of a crucial part.
I'm beginning to sense that this is something a little more than just.
Well, that like just checking if there aren't too many like other people listening in.
Yeah.
But she, like, her reckless behavior caused it was the cause of our diamond expenditure.
I see.
Emphasis on reckless. Like, if she wasn't as useful as she was, I would probably have kicked her out already. But I guess she is a bit of for now we'll just call her a diamond in the rough. Just need some, cleaning up a little bit. Or maybe diamond in the rough is not even the right. It's not the right term.
I
Yeah.
understand what you mean. It's
I haven't told her yet, but I feel like we're gonna I'm actually I'm not even considering planning on having us do a training session every morning at dawn as soon as the sun comes up. Just some discipline training. Although I think
Irma look like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean?
she just training her to keep her composure, to stay calm.
a good thing to
Maybe-
learn.
You're right.
Discipline. I understand that can be not discipline as in punishment necessarily, but discipline as in less chaotic, more of a
I
planned
think what
force.
Grim is referring to is self-control.
Yes.
It's something we've all learned the hard way, one or another.
Well,
That's true. It's hard to teach that in the same way that you learn it from being in situations is the problem.
True, but knowing your options is often the key to harnessing your own.
see, I was hoping that she'd learn from her, because this was not the first instance that it this time it got her killed, and the time before it was. I feel like it was more of a fluke that she didn't die than anything else.
I feel like it's easier to be reckless when you think that, or when there are people who can help get you out of the situation, even if it's not what you're aiming for. But we all learned our own lessons about being reckless, and we were all lucky to get out of it. I think maybe there isn't an easy way to get around it, but I think having the ability to rely on any of us to bring her back is probably making it a slower lesson to learn than it was for us.
Yes. It's difficult when we have such gifts. We shouldn't squander them, but sometimes I do find myself wondering when the correct time to use these gifts really is.
Yes. I think perhaps we should come up with some kind of system to. Well, I think punish sounds like a harsh word, but if you reckless, just straight up reckless behavior, we need to have some kind of consequence, something that we can that you actually to make you realize that you messed up, or because it's not so much yourself that I'm doing. It's not so much her that I'm doing it for, as much as it is everyone else.
Yeah, after all, if she's putting herself in danger, she's most likely putting you all in danger as well.
Yep, that's absolutely what happened.
But yes. On top of that, perhaps I should maybe have been slightly less confident in facing that dragon, but
we couldn't just leave it without even trying is the thing, so.
no, true, but I'll admit, odds of us staying hidden were poor at best, but I may have overestimated, or more so underestimated, the dragon's capability.
I think it's hard to make a tactical judgment about something you've never experienced.
But in that case, like I would never have to make good judgment, or hardly ever have to have a good judgment because we get into new situations every day. But yes. One step at a time.
Oh.
But yeah, now at least you know what the deal is, and why it's important for Elizabeth to be present for that discussion. You're still welcome to join, of course, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be. I have a few words I'd like to say.
Well, I guess whilst we wait, I am gonna start working on a plan to deal with that dragon.
I think I'll join you for that as well. I have some ideas I want to run past you.
Yeah, excellent. Actually, I imagine I may have interrupted my breakfast, so I should probably finish that.
Okay, so excuse me. You guys while away some time eating and doing whatever. Is there anything else anybody wants to do in this meantime?
I don't think so.
Nuh-uh.
Okay. So Elizabeth, you wander around town for a short time. The majority of places that you would usually go, because what components do you need precisely?
The spell calls for 10 gold's worth of charcoal, incense, and herbs that must be consumed by fire in a brass brazier.
Okay, so it takes you a little longer than you would normally expect. But you manage to find the components that you're looking for. Though some of them at considerable markup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it seems like with the stall on trading here, things are people are definitely sort of hiking their prices a little bit.
Totally reasonable. How much extra do I end up paying?
You're looking at somewhere in the region of 13 gold.
Yeah,
Oh
that's fine.
shit,
Woof.
that's pricey though.
Gotta make that.
I mean, we can
money,
afford
I
it, but it's still
guess.
pricey.
30% markup.
I love how we were just talking about buying a castle and now 13 gold is pricey.
Look,
It's a 30% markup. Imagine
It
if
is.
they marked up the castle by 30%.
Yeah,
that's
but
a
they haven't
huge
marked-
amount.
Yeah, but they haven't
Yeah.
marked up the castle 30%, have they?
Well, we haven't.
Well, we
haven't
don't
got-
know.
We haven't priced it out, so we have
If
no
the
idea.
trade route stays closed,
Well, yeah.
Oh.
Woof.
30, and this is 30% like less than a week into it being closed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like for an average peasant, I mean, that's
Yeah.
Well,
That's
to
a
be
lot of
fair,
money.
Average peasant.
the average peasant
Average
is not
peasant.
buying ritual spellcasting components.
yeah, but you
No.
know what I mean. Like if that's like the usual markup for like everything. I mean, good God.
Well, I assume like a lot of the
Also-
food is still available because I imagine
Yeah,
most
I
of the food is local.
Yeah. First of all, most food is local, and second of all, feudal peasants are actually pretty self-sufficient most of the time. You know, a lot of them own farms, and you know what farms tend to grow a lot?
Peasants don't own farms. Peasants work on farms.
Peasants work on farms that are owned by lords.
Well, yeah.
If they could own a farm, that would be something crazy.
If they own a farm,
Yeah.
they are no longer peasants.
Yeah. Well, the point is, like, the food is probably locally produced, so getting stuff like food is probably not the problem. It's all the exotic stuff that trade routes would restrict. Like, you're not going to be getting seashells anytime soon if you can't get to the sea.
Sad face.
Yeah.
Also,
You're not going to be getting much
Jewels.
fish either, except from the east, which means it'll be more expensive. But
like don't worry, I think we get the gist. But I think there's one important one that I'm not sure about.
Hmm.
Gem. Because I don't know if... Because thinking back to the map, I don't know if gems come from south or from the north. It's usually like I always associate gems with
Yeah.
like...
Where would one mine for gems in this world, Ferrous?
I guess you also have mountains up north.
Primarily, at least in the markets around here, they will come from the south.
So yeah.
The
Which means we'll be
elves
fine.
will control most of the stuff that's up north.
Yeah, which means we'll be fine.
And actually,
It's not the southern road that's blocked.
a considerable amount of it comes from the mountain ranges in the east, because that's where the dwarf holes are.
Yes,
there
that's
you go.
true.
So there you go. We're totally fine for gemstones.
Oh yeah, but like the reason why I was worried about south is because like we traveled through the like south using the coast, so I assumed that would be the normal route.
Yes, it is definitely the most efficient way to get stuff up here.
Yeah. But doesn't mean it's the only way.
No, but it still means it might be more expensive.
Yeah, true.
But
Just
you
not
you
quite.
have your ritual spellcasting components. Are you returning to base?
Yes.
Okay.
She probably goes back, casts them, and then heads straight to the war room, assuming that's where everyone is.
Okay.
That's probably back to her room, cast spell, back to the war room.
Okay. So you arrive late to your own hearing.
Damn.
I feel like
Well, this is why
Feel
she left the
bad.
note, because it's her contribution to what she assumed the conversation was going to be about.
I feel like half this conversation is us railing you for being an idiot. So you leaving and showing up late is like the worst possible.
Her logic was, one of the things that we're going to have to talk about at this big hit was that topic. So she was like, you know what? I'll leave that there,
Yeah.
and that way they have my opinion on one of the topics, and they can talk about that while I'm gone, because my opinion's right there.
So you walk into the war room, facing you on the other side of the table is Grim and Vondal, who are both like, Elizabeth, have a seat.
Oh my
no. No. This sounds horrible, but yes.
Oh god.
The dads are disappointed.
I mean, yeah,
The dads are
Elizabeth-
so disappointed.
We felt
I
it's
can't
necessary
believe-
to have a performance review.
Oh
Oh,
I mean, is that actually what he said?
No.
No.
Should
No.
he actually say Elizabeth take a seat? Because I was fully ready to
Well,
respond to that.
Vondal says Elizabeth take a seat.
Oh, well, there you go then. Well, yeah, then Elizabeth probably is just like...
well, I guess the others aren't here
oh.
yet, right?
no. No, are we not all?
Oh yeah, you,
Oh, I
like
guess
you
it's-
you guys are just sort of in the back.
Yeah.
Ah,
I mean, Elizabeth just be like,
I wanted to do the funny joke of Grim
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Vondal sitting at the table.
yeah.
okay.
Elizabeth probably just looks like very confused for a second, and then it's just like, I'm sorry, did I like mess up a test or something? What's going on?
Arya's like gonna scream.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
What? That's the last time anyone said Elizabeth sat down. It was my tutor because I'd gotten less than he expected on a test.
Well,
Yeah,
I guess you could
Sure,
say
you got less than expected on a test if the test is literally your life.
You're feeling mean today, aren't you?
I am feeling mean because you're acting like a fucking idiot.
Arya.
might want to clean up the language a little bit, but yes. There have been some concerns with your behavior. I feel like that would be the most gentle possible way of putting it.
So I'm guessing it's a little bit too much to hope that was going to be a conversation for slightly later in the day.
I mean, perhaps it would have been if you hadn't run off this morning without telling anyone where you were going.
I thought you'd just assume I would overslept.
That would actually require you to be in your bed.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't realize if I was gone for half a second that, like, you'd mount a search party.
You were gone for most of the morning when you knew we had a meeting, and you realized that we are actively being hunted by people who want to kill us.
You're part of
Are
a
we?
team now, Elizabeth. It's very important that communication is clear.
I know a lot of this is going to sound very harsh, but you probably just need to hear it all at least once. Because the truth is, you could pretty much have straight up murdered. Well, I was going to say everyone here. Well, Fundal would have been was missing, but yeah, your actions put everyone in danger, and it's not the laugh it off kind of danger. So we need to have a, well, I guess if it hasn't been clear yet, the things that we want to address is your, I guess, self-control was your lack of, and more specifically your lack of self-control. Speaking your mind causes, usually is alright, can be a little bit of a problem, but can fix some things as well, I guess. Which is fine. However, there are times where, well, it's less fine. Like with this dragon taunting a foe that we had that had already nearly felled the party, only for it to finish you off. And we're lucky that it didn't decide that it wanted more from us. So, I don't know if you have anything to say for yourself before we, in the defense or in response or. Anything?
She just shakes her head.
Arya?
I'm just blown away that you can't even apologize when you literally almost got yourself killed and got Lyra killed in the process. It worries me that you think that you did nothing wrong. Because that
I'm
leads
not
me to
saying I
believe
did nothing wrong. That's not what he asked.
I guess that's true.
Last I
But
checked, do you have anything to defend yourself did not mean apologize and explain what you did wrong.
I did or anything else, and I guess an apology is not unreasonable. Well, I feel like unreasonable is a very mild manner of putting it, but
I'm really sorry, guys.
the bigger issue here is this is not the first time that you've gotten yourself in this kind of situation. See, it happens. It can happen once, but having it happen twice within a month. That's kind of a sign that you haven't quite learned or realized, or I don't know what is going on. But something isn't connecting as to death is bad, or a certain lack of self-preservation.
You have to realize that you travel with a group of exceptional individuals. The fact that you can come back from these mistakes is a gift that is granted. It is not an entitlement. And even our gifts have limitations. If that dragon had decided to tear off your head or carry away your body, we would not have been able to bring you back.
Not to mention, we can't always guarantee that we will be there to do the things that we can do, just in general.
Especially now that we're not traveling with Svandal anymore. Like, don't get me wrong, Kelariis, you're great, but like having a second person that's can remedy death is kind of a big perk. And it means that as soon as Kelariis is out for whatever reason, like we are actually kind of screwed as well. Which honestly was pretty close to happening if it was that I still had my had a potion on me to bring her back. You might be wondering as well as to how you could improve this. Or do you have some ideas already? Elizabeth.
I can't say I do.
Okay. It's not much, but I suggest that we get up every morning at dawn, and I'm not entirely sure as to how I'm gonna try and teach you these skills, but we're gonna work on some self-control, some just general routines that might help you. I don't know if focus is the right word, but realize what you're doing, or give you more self-control.
Critical thinking, I think, is the term Grim is looking for.
Well, not necessarily, but it might help. Like, it couldn't hurt.
Learning to assess your situation.
I mean, to be fair, the first time I wouldn't have done what I did. I wouldn't have teleported in if Kelariis hadn't been there.
That isn't the point.
Like,
I knew I had backup.
Backup is different than putting yourself in a situation where you could get killed just because somebody else is also there. It's...
yeah.
I understand what you're saying, and yes, you had me as backup, but that's not the same. Not to mention that we have different strengths to play to. And just because I'm up in the front doesn't you also need to be up there.
The life of
I
an
think
adventurer is one of balancing risk, not just taking them.
It's, like, for example, like in that example, like, yes, you gained a positional advantage. However, like, again, like even in that scenario, like, you almost got murdered for it. Like, yes, you could, like, well, you managed to blow up the boat, probably because of it. However, like, yeah, how I should have put it. Like you said before, you went forward because Kelariis was there, but that doesn't, like, putting you there also means Kelariis has, you're another thing Kelariis needs to think about that she might not have accounted for. I think I need to rephrase this better.
No, I get what you're trying to imply there.
And I know you, like, the ability to jump around is absolutely amazing, and I could definitely use that, but I can't.
I can't.
Wow.
Look, it's true. Like, I'm like the only one in the party that can't teleport around.
It's a fair
Oh
point.
no,
It's
me and
true.
Lyra.
Yeah,
Yo, Lyra.
Lyra can't teleport.
But Lyra can run fast.
It's true.
Look, just let me have something in common, please. It's fine. But yeah. So I guess the real question is, you do realize, so at least we hope this has kind of made you realize the problem, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're not the first one to have issues, but like like I think all of us have kind of slowly worked out the worst of it. Like there's a reason why Fundal asked for Arya first, but she's grown a lot more responsible, and I guess I could say the same for Kelariis, but that's a different. That was a different kind of reaction.
I think what Grim is trying to say is that we've all taken risks, some of them perhaps unnecessary at times. It's always a learning process. We can't be right all the time, but we can try to minimize the risk where we can.
Well, we've all got our flaws. We've worked. Most of us have worked through them. So, and I'm sure you can too. As annoying as it's going to be, but unless you like looking at Arya and Kelariis, do you have anything else to add, or you, Elizabeth?
I think maybe I shouldn't have just tried to pretend that first incident never happened.
It's not the way to deal with things like that. I know it's easier sometimes to handle it that way, but at the end of the day, it did still happen, even if it didn't end up the way that you thought it could, or even if it didn't end up the way that it could have.
I should have spent more time around Pericles. He was much more like you and Vandal, like pointing at Grim.
Or if you may have noticed, sometimes there's too much of me, especially when I do the talking. But
True.
it works out.
Yeah, Pericles is a much better diplomat than you.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but you know.
He's not as handy though.
Like Grim said, strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
Also, I guess when we do so well together, I can kind of overestimate us and what we're capable of.
That's like you weren't around when I said it, but yeah, like I definitely underestimated the dragon at first.
Well, it's like when we beat that robot thing that had the crown. Like, we beat that thing, I thought, doesn't matter what temerity throws at us, we've got it.
Oh,
Yeah,
Hopefully-
underestimating your enemy is probably the worst thing that you could ever do.
yes.
I don't even think it was underestimating what she could do, it was overestimating what we could do.
Ultimately, kind of ends in the results is almost the same.
Yeah.
I've like I myself have been slightly overconfident at times, although I've still managed to keep it within well, no, never written like within the what we call it. Never gone too far yet, but I honestly think that might almost be a disadvantage, because now you at least have experienced what it's like to go too far, and hopefully that experience it will deter you from trying that again. Which, to lighten the mood a little bit. What was it like to be dead?
Grim, that is not a question to be asking somebody, I don't think.
I have a better way to lighten the mood, although it does start with another apology. I'm sorry as well for sneaking out this morning. I just wanted to bring back my little friend. And then she'll place Scarlet on the table.
That's fine, but you can't just go running off. Just
I-
telling Vondal where you were going would have been enough.
I thought that someone had seen me, and also I thought I'd be back before you noticed.
Even if you think you're going to be back, considering what's going on, it's better to leave at least a note if you're not going to talk to somebody. That's all we ask.
Okay.
Besides, even though I would appreciate being awake first, you have the ability to tell anyone anything at any time. So
Well,
you
not
should
anyone.
pretty much.
I do have to know them.
Any
first.
of us.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, if we're all concluded here, I have a message to send.
Oh.
I was hoping to throw some ideas around for the dragon, but I feel like we've had a. I feel like we might want to just let this stew for a bit.
Message?
Give me 15-20 minutes and we can come back to this.
Oh, okay. I mean, so what about the Cabal?
That is also on the list of things to discuss, but
I think we
I
should
feel like
deal with the dragon first, shouldn't we?
What if they can help us with the dragon?
No.
despite the fact that I agree with both of you, they could probably help, but I also feel like having them help is probably going to lead to civilian casualties, and it would be kind of a show of weakness.
I don't
Trading
want-
one enemy for another isn't a good plan.
I also don't want us to owe them any sort of debt.
Mm-hmm.
True.
We have resources and we have friends.
Yes.
I'm
I think,
sure that we can find anybody else to help us.
and I've been thinking about it. I think if we can somehow neutralize its breath to some degree, even just reduce its impact, I think we can stand a chance, because it was that breath that it just kept on using that really messed us up.
There's
Its claws were painful, but we can handle a few blows.
probably magic for that.
I guess what were you gonna say?
There's various magics that could help with protection from various things. I don't think anything I have can specifically protect from what that particular dragon used against us, but there must be something.
Considering the wounds that it left, I'm guessing it's some kind of acid.
I don't even think it's that.
Just regular old
Well,
poison?
an acid is a liquid, yeah. Like, I'm assuming this dragon's breath looked more like a poison cloud than it did a load of acid being gunked at us.
Like acid, you can get an acid cloud as well.
Yeah.
I suppose.
You can make me a medicine or nature check.
I'll go with a nature check then, please.
This
Fuck.
feels so oof. So that
Oof.
feels horrible. Did
That's
it
with
feel
a
more
plus.
like you were
That's with
getting?
a plus 11, guys.
The
My rolls are getting worse again.
the consistency was definitely more cloud-like, but that doesn't tell you a huge amount. It didn't leave like corrosive burning. It just left like inflamed skin though, which you can fairly safely guess that it's a poison effect.
Oh, I was going to say, if she wasn't able to think about, like, in terms of what we experienced, would I not... I
Oh,
guess this might be a weird stretch, but I think it makes sense, because wouldn't that also correlate to the breath weapon that a green dragonborn would have? And I'm assuming that's something that
Oh.
I might know or be able to, think about?
Yeah, logically you can extrapolate that.
Yeah.
Because you, I suppose, actually being dragonborn, you are familiar with the mythology of the dragons.
I hope so. I hope Kelariis didn't
Yes.
fucking just ignore all of that.
Yes. The thing with dragons in dragonborn culture is they are spoken of in the same reverential sort of deific tone as like the first dragonborn. So particularly among the metallics, it's often very hard to tell whether one of the forefathers was actually a dragon or was a dragonborn. There's a lot of crisscross between the two in the terms of mythology, and the chromats are kind of portrayed as these sort of twisted monstrosities. But yeah, it's a logical extrapolation that you've encountered a green dragonborn before. That it probably is a poisonous effect rather than acidic.
But yeah, going back in character, Elizabeth's gonna be like, I mean, if it was a more acidic effect, then yeah, one spell I have would work, but that spell doesn't apply to poison.
I mean, it's more likely that it was poison, considering, well, green dragonborns do the same, and I guess that would make sense.
well, I trust your judgment.
I mean, it's between the two of... I mean, between what we've seen and what Elizabeth thinks and what I've definitely had to deal with a green dragonborn before, and that was not pleasant, having that in my face, but I think that's our safest bet to assume that is the same.
Even though I am not a fan of poison, I feel like poison is a lot better, like a lot easier to deal with than acid.
I have a couple of ways of dealing with it, but I don't think I can cover everybody, and not for a very long time.
Vondal returns to the room and says, Lady Elenia has some ideas.
Oh, that was a quick response.
I should still have a talk with Tiff at some point. Yes.
I'd like to go to Argentaloid at some point.
From what I understood from what she was saying, I think the plan is for her to come here.
Oh.
Don't know how long that's going to take, but
We
will
probably
see.
arrange more guest spaces before then.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Ooh, do you reckon she could tell me the combination to the teleportation circle while she's down here?
You'd have to ask her.
Just because, that could be useful information if I ever get a forked metal rod that I can attune to this plane.
Well, if you need a forked metal rod, we can we can probably arrange something with the blacksmith. The tuning part you're probably gonna have to do yourself, but
Well, I was gonna say you can't just make a fork out of anything. Like the fork itself has to be worth quite a lot.
well, the thing is, it sounds like it sounds like something that we're gonna use a lot in potentially.
Yeah, if I can get my hands on about on 250 gold forked metal rod, and attune it to this plane, no matter where we were, I could teleport us back, provided we were all able to link hands. And it's instant. And I can still link it to teleportation circles.
Honestly, that sounds almost ideal. It does
But
get
this
consumed.
is why I wrote down those last 2 points on my list. If we could also take an unattuned rod to the Shadowfell, I could attune it to that plane while we're there, and then potentially we'd have an instant way back again if we ever needed to.
Why was dice
and
just rolled?
get
I
back.
know. I was like,
So as you are having this conversation, a large, heavy book materializes in the middle of the table and lands.
Ah!
Okay.
Where the fuck did that come from? Can I look up at the ceiling?
Well, it didn't fall from the ceiling; it materialized above the table and landed.
does it have anything written on the cover?
It does. Do you speak Elvish?
I do.
No.
Oh.
I do. Three of us in this room speak Elvish.
Actually, I think doesn't. No, Grim doesn't speak.
No,
No.
Grim doesn't speak Elvish.
I was gonna say I thought for a second everybody except for Kelariis did, and I was like, well, all right.
Nope. Don't worry,
Nope.
I'm right there with you.
Also, I don't know if Lyra can Lyra read.
Lyra cannot read.
Okay.
I was gonna say her intelligence is pretty low.
Yeah, what did it say?
The book is titled "A Treatise on Permanency."
I mean, Elizabeth probably reads that out loud.
Oh, is this?
I don't know if I should touch that or not. I probably shouldn't touch the book that materialized out of nowhere, should I?
Probably not. But it
I mean,
is
can we
also.
detect any magic from it?
You'd have to give me 10 minutes to find out,
I mean,
although,
I think.
we got 10 minutes.
like,
Unless, I don't know. I mean, I can take 10 minutes casting it.
I guess the question
wouldn't
is,
expect-
did we expect a book, or does anyone know where this book could come from?
I was not expecting a book.
Oh,
And also, and if it's written in Elvish, then I'm clueless. If it was written in Primordial or Auran, I might have an idea, but Elvish,
perhaps
no.
I
Elizabeth.
misunderstood something.
Yes.
Oh, was she not... Oh, is she not coming down? She's just sending something down.
That could be.
Can I pick up the book then?
Okay, you pick up the book.
No, that's me asking in character.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah, Elizabeth is looking at Grim and everybody else going, am I allowed to pick up the book?
well, considering it seems to be a relevant book, I guess go ahead.
I want to read the book.
okay. You pick up the book, and as you open the front cover, a small piece of paper slides out.
What does a small piece of paper say?
The small piece of paper says, "To Vondal."
I will hand it to Vondal.
Okay. Vondal reads the note. Yeah, basically, he reads it out loud. It is from Lady Elenia. It basically says, this tome should have all the research on the relevant spells. I have never attempted to cast such a spell myself. To do so is very difficult and requires a lot of study. But if you can find somebody suitably skilled, they should be able to attempt it. And that's the end of the message.
Okay, Elizabeth goes wide-eyed and is very happily reading the book.
I did ask her to be discreet about it, so I suppose rather than disappearing herself, she simply sent the book.
I very much like her already.
However, this whole thing does kind of raise a point that we should take care of a little bit. If we're going to discuss the intricacies of how to actually implement security of these books, we might want to do so in a secure room, not one that people might be able to listen into when,
That's a fair point.
Ooh, hang on. Ooh.
I don't know, I guess I can't remember how we did that in the past, but I remember we managed to do it at some point.
I think last time you just went to a place with Hallow, didn't you?
I have a crazy idea.
Oh no, actually, I think I remember. But yes, well, what is the idea?
Does anybody have a glass or crystal bead?
I don't think so.
Because I could potentially cast a spell right here, right now, that would prevent any magic from affecting anything within the area.
Okay. That would definitely be worth doing.
It's not a permanent.
So what is the
It's
the component?
not permanent. It specifically says a glass or crystal bead that shatters when the spell ends.
Wait, is it one that you need to buy, or is it?
Yeah, does it have a gold
yeah.
value?
It does not.
Then you can cast it with your spellcasting focus.
It was just the fact that it shatters when it ends made me think I needed something specific.
No, unless it has a gold value, you don't need it. But
Alright, cool.
I will say, for thematic purposes, Elizabeth says that, and Kelariis, I imagine you have one.
Oh, sorry, I'm a fucking idiot. Yeah, I definitely.
Yeah, you're a glass worker.
It's been a hot second. Yeah, I just 1 second. I mean, I guess I don't probably have it on me, but I can go grab. I have all my stuff in my room, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess not knowing exactly what you need. Honestly, I probably just have a pouch of just extraneous glass bits.
Yeah. Like
I don't know.
All the offcuts you use to make friendship bracelets and stuff.
Friendship bracelets out of glass.
Yeah, that would be a bit rough.
Okay,
No.
you say this though. I literally have. I have a fucking pendant that I wear that's made out of glass, but it's fine. And I gave all of you fuckers stuff made out of glass.
No.
It's
A
fine.
pendant made out of glass. That's fine. A bracelet?
No, it's fine. It's possible.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you have bracelets made of glass beads. I don't get what your deal is.
also they're
if it was
they're
made of glass
tempered.
beads,
They're not
that's
just.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
no,
thought you
not
just meant a solid glass. Yeah, I thought you meant like a solid glass loop.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I was like,
No.
what?
I mean, that's also possible.
I mean, but
those
yeah,
are a
Elizabeth-
pain in the ass to size and put
Yeah.
on, though. Anyway,
Yeah.
I have an assortment of glass glass bits
Yeah.
for you to choose from.
Yeah. Elizabeth probably just selects the roundest thing she can find and goes, that'll probably do.
Excuse you, there are definitely round beads in there.
Yeah, exactly. And she finds the roundest one. I will find the roundest one.
I feel mildly insulted that you, by the implications that some of them are not round despite being
I don't
beads.
know. Like you said, they're cut off.
Anyways.
Whatever. Yeah, anyway. I will select a glass bead. And she will say, so yeah, this affects everything within 10 feet. So...
Any chance they can get that area a little bigger?
No, but it does cover almost the whole room.
Okay, well, I
It'll
guess
just be
it'll
like there'll just be like these bits at the edges that won't be
You
included.
can huddle in close.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Guess,
mean, if I
guess
cast
I'll
it,
have to.
if I cast it said like right here, I could. If I set it like cast it in the middle of the table, I can get everybody in.
Don't
No one
worry
has
about
to-
the metaphysics of it.
Yeah. This will make like a shimmering dome, so just so you're aware of flashing or like visual effects, they're supposed to happen.
Yeah.
At least it
If
makes
anyone
it
has
clear
a
where we
seizure,
Yeah. This is
Oh,
your
no.
epilepsy warning.
yep.
take that book.
And I will cast the spell, which I'm very glad I decided to prep at the start of this session. Globe of Invulnerability.
Oh, okay.
Which also inadvertently causes Elizabeth to shimmer as well. Because it's abjuration, it triggers her ward.
Okay. So you create a
I
Bubble of
create a 10-foot
invulnerability.
radius bubble in which any spell 5th level or lower cast from outside the barrier can't affect creatures or objects within it, even if the spell is cast using a higher level spell.
Oh,
so you pop Ward of Dawn.
Yes,
Wow.
basically. Basically, except it's blue.
okay. How long does it last? Did you say?
A minute.
Yeah, this gonna have to be. That's gonna have to. Blah. We're gonna have to be real quick then.
Yeah, I can skim read, don't worry.
I haven't
I
actually.
will quickly flick through this book for the relevant spell that I would
Okay.
like to cast.
Um,
And
I
I'll also
guess.
get out a piece of paper.
I guess give me an investigation check.
Yeah. Oh, that's much better.
Okay. So in the space of the minute while you're inside the globe, you flick through the book, and you manage to piece together. This is basically this is essentially like a thesis on a magical skill that is basically altering the permanency of objects, making things like storing things outside of time and space. And it contains the instructions to a number of spells. Let me tell you what they are.
Oh, several spells.
The two spells that you can pull from it. There's the spell Sequester. It's not written out in the conventional sense that you would write out spells, but you could piece with study you could piece together the spell from this book. It also has the spell Leomund's Secret Chest.
I don't even think wizards could learn that.
They can.
Where is it?
It is a fourth level conjuration.
Oh, right.
But yes, you hide a chest and all its contents on the ethereal plane.
Convenient.
Oh, and that one's much, much cheaper.
Yes.
Oh, wait, no, it's not. Actually, it's slightly more expensive.
It's slightly more expensive, and you have to recast it every now and again. But
Oh, yeah. Okay, so she'll probably quickly skim read these books, and we'll probably do her own little summary of how each one works. Which is, you say, right, okay, so the two things I could potentially do using the information in this book, it would take me a while to get things exactly right, but we could potentially get a really fancy chest and a tiny replica of said chest.
the spell has ended, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, like I guess. Well, I was kind of expecting to also like
Damn it.
talk a little bit about something else whilst the spell was still up. I guess whilst Elizabeth was taking care of things. Not that a
mean,
minute is a
Are we
whole
expecting to get into like major trouble
But-
today?
Are we ever expecting to get into major trouble most days?
True.
like
Vondal
we-
suppresses a snort.
I shoot him a look like, don't even start with me right now.
Okay.
to be fair,
Are
like
we gonna go looking for major trouble today?
honestly, like we tried to come home from the island. We went to space. We fought a dragon. I don't even know anymore.
No, all I'm saying is, if I,
Kind of makes you miss the weddings.
Yeah,
I
it's been
could,
a while, huh?
I would kill to go to a wedding right now. Something normal for a change. Anyway,
Normal.
yeah. What I'm saying is, that spell is not easy to do. I could only do it again once.
Yeah. No, it's. I think we might be better off just having you, detect magic, and hopefully that works.
All right.
Because that's how we, Fundal, you remember? Because we were getting scryed upon. Remember? Back in
Back in the day.
what's it called again? The desert
Oh, in Mardan.
in Mardan.
Yeah, Vondal nods and says, I have a recollection, yes.
Okay. Well then, give me 10 minutes, and I'll spend 10 minutes casting casting detect magic.
I feel like that will have to do for now because 1 minute is just not enough time to do anything meaningful.
Okay, you ritual cast detect magic, and aside from everything that you would expect to see in this room, there is no other magic.
Yeah, everything I know that is magical that's in this room. Nothing else is magical.
Yes.
Well,
Cool.
let's get to the proper conversation then.
Can I also can I also take a peek out the doors, just in case they've been sneaky and left a hearing thing outside the door?
Yeah, you peek around. There is nothing.
Cool. So,
Okay.
what I've learned from this book. One spell would enable me to essentially trap a rather expensive, admittedly, chest on the ethereal plane. We'd have to keep a miniature replica of the chest, which would have to be protected. Because if the replica was ever destroyed, the spell would end, and also this particular spell would require maintenance. It will eventually expire on its own.
I feel like that kind of automatically makes it a no-go. That like we
Um,
still have the object that we need to
Yeah.
keep safe, and we need to maintain it.
Sequester, the other spell I could use,
Yep.
will simply make the object in question invisible and unable to be detected through divination spells or perceived through scrying sensors. And
Oh
like
no,
said,
I feel
it
like there
will
should be a
last-
physical barrier.
Yeah, I
Well-
agree if we can.
Yeah, well, we could put it in something and then make that invisible.
Yeah, but it's like what I suggested before. I guess we have a chest with the four lock chest or whatever we however we want to do that. Maybe 4 locks is a little overkill, but
What about 3 locks and then I make it invisible and undetected? So not only would I have to make it even findable, you 3 would then have to unlock it.
well, and then of course the hidden location thing.
So I don't know where it is. You 3 are the only ones with the locks, and before you can even unlock it, I have to make it even findable.
Didn't we encounter something that could be used to store things securely? Back in Rourke's Gate? Lady Othel had something. I vaguely remember one of you telling me.
That's
Mm.
That's
Something
not bad.
that something that Nomish made?
Oh. It was a box of some sort, right?
I think it was called a safe?
Oh wait, a safe. I've heard about safe.
What about one of those?
I've heard that's safe.
I mean, that's basically about as secure as it gets. A mechanical lock.
Yeah.
Would we be able to get our hands on one?
You'd have to find a bunch of gnomes, but don't see why not.
I happen to know some.
I spy with my little eye an excuse to go to Gnomish land.
I feel like I feel like this is not enough of an excuse for an adventure, but
That sounds like
it's more
all
like
the excuse I need.
it's more
You
like
need
an excuse
someone
to
capable of crafting one as well.
yeah.
Well, yeah, where else are you gonna find someone capable of crafting something gnomish than the home of gnomes?
Well, because what I was going to suggest is because I was hoping to get magical protection, because otherwise you could just cast that was the thing that you got the knock spell,
Hmm.
because then like that would just open the lock, wouldn't it? Or is that only keys? Would it work on a safe? The real question.
If it was held shut by a mundane lock. If it has multiple locks, though, it only opens one.
Yeah.
And
So-
also it makes a really loud noise when you do it.
So technically a safe would have multiple locks.
Yeah. Also, it makes a really loud noise.
I don't think the noise will be an issue, because what I was thinking we would ask. I forgot her name for a second. She might. Hopefully, she doesn't consider it beneath her. Or our experimenting friend. Where's she?
Who?
Which experimenting friend?
Which one?
We've got so many of those.
The blacksmith.
Lothari.
Oh, Lothari.
The Fari, yeah.
Oh,
Because if anyone, like, if I trust anyone to, well, I guess she's not really a locksmith, is she?
no.
She's a blacksmith.
Yeah,
but
blacksmithing and locksmithing and that kind of tinkering really don't cross over that much.
Yeah.
You know what though? If we did want to find anybody to help us out with a tuning fork, I bet she could help.
Oh my god, you're right.
Also, wouldn't be a terrible idea if you're looking for magical weapons and armor against a dragon.
Also a good point.
Also true.
I feel like
Is
she
that
will
not in
have.
the same direction we need to head to get to your homelands, Grim? I don't actually know on the map.
so,
that is me legitimately not knowing.
Yeah, the place that Llewellyn told you their workshop is in Emberoth, which is basically like a stone's throw from Ardenstar.
Nice.
Well, actually,
So
you'd
really-
have to go through Ardenstar to get to it, even.
I spy an adventure. Excuse for an adventure.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to do that.
Also, come on, kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Three
Yeah,
birds
we
with a
could-
single
I could-
magic missile.
Yeah.
Hey.
And I could already think of at least 3, maybe 4 different forks I'd like for places that'd be worth going to.
Well, let's start with one and see what we can do. But
Well, we need 2
You could,
anyway.
you could
'cause
have one
I
with a
want- I want to at
bowl
least
bit.
be able
You
to-
could call it a spork.
No.
Okay, ideally, I'd
Tuning
have.
spork.
I hate this.
Ideally, I'd have one for the material plane. We'd have one for, potentially one for Shadowfell, because hell saves us having to go on an adventure just to get there every goddamn time. And maybe we can just teleport straight to the Cabal front door and go, "Hey, what's up, bitches?" I'd like one for the elemental plane of air, because I'd like to be able to visit my parent every now and then. And I don't know, maybe we can make one for the Feywild as well.
Alright.
So one thing about that is tuning forks easy to get. Attuning them to the plane is the hard part.
Oh, I could get help with the third one.
Also, I think the Feywild one, we kind of got the Feywild covered, I'd say, right, Arya?
Yeah. Like I know how to get there.
I mean, it's unpredictable though, right?
Well, so is teleporting there. That's the only problem.
Yeah, I think if anything, I trust Arya to get us there a bit more safely than teleporting there. All
Okay,
things
not one.
considered.
Okay, so just 3 then.
How expensive is a tuning fork?
250 gold.
Oh, that's.
It's affordable to some
I was
degree,
like,
but yeah.
that's not as bad as I was thinking it was for some reason.
It's
I thought
still
it was
like a
more
lot of money.
expensive.
Well,
Yeah,
like-
no, like it's still a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, but I thought it was like higher than that for some reason, and I was really
Also,
nervous about
like
it.
once I have a tuning fork for the particular plane, I can just teleport us anywhere on that plane. Pretty much.
Well, I mean,
So if we
we're
ever need
making
to
a
go
lot
to
of
Argent Tellerant,
assumptions.
I could like if I ever need to go to Argent Tellerant, I could just teleport us to Argent Tellerant.
We're still making a lot of assumptions, and we'd still need to ask if that's even something that Lethari would be willing to do for us.
No, yeah, obviously.
But it
Yeah, well,
sounds like we at least have an idea of where we want to head.
We're going east again.
So free. Okay, so what we're the only. I guess. Yeah, I guess we'll make it work. Because the only thing, the only issue I have is the things that we're gonna request are probably gonna have a long ass waiting time, if you know what I mean. Like it's gonna take a while for it's done. But I guess we might.
We can wait. Kind of.
Well, I mean, if there's any way that you can get in touch ahead of time with
Because
anyone
what I would
about the
suggest.
safe,
Yeah, exactly. Like I suggest I'll send a letter, and you and Elizabeth contacts Lefari.
well,
I don't know
well,
Lethari.
Oh
you can.
no, but
yeah,
you
but we
know.
can contact her apprentice because we obviously all know him.
Von Dahl can contact Lethari.
Yes,
Also,
I can.
Also we asked for well, I say address, but
Yeah, like we know basically where to go to look for them.
We know where they might be.
Also, it is highly unlikely that Throlin will get there any quicker than you guys will. So
Yeah.
Fair point.
Like, yeah, Von Dahl can message her.
Yeah, that's. a good
I'm not
idea.
the only one who can send these messages to anybody at any time, even if they're on a different plane.
No, we know.
I can send a
See-
message if you want to tell me what you want to say.
we should probably decide that first, shouldn't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we have a lot of talking to do.
Because
Still.
I think I should probably get myself an upgrade from this chainmail that I've been using for ages now.
Yeah.
The same
Probably.
set.
I think we can invest in
Yeah.
some better armor.
Yeah.
God. This. You know what? Joining the Amber Eagle is so much more fun than being a scribe to just some random wizard.
I just like the mental image that Grim says, I should probably get something other than this chainmail that I've been wearing for ages. He pulls at the collar and one of the links just goes bing.
Yeah.
That's
It's like so gross and like rusty.
Yeah. Like yeah.
It's probably all like dinged up and.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gosh.
Some of the links have been replaced with things that don't quite match in color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He tries to hide that underneath like.
The tabard, yeah.
His other clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the tabard's got a really great gash in it.
I can't believe you have such low standards for Grim.
The gash, it probably doesn't have any gashes because you guys have access to mending.
Yeah.
Yep.
True.
Yeah, exactly.
But I also 100% believe that Grim is the one to be like, nah, it's fine. We don't need to worry about it. And then it just never gets fixed.
Yeah. He just says,
Ugh.
don't worry about it because all of it's
Yeah.
minor, but then all the minor things come together to be one big thing.
Like in due time, it's
Grim is
fine.
the kind of person who sees a chip on his windscreen and goes, it'll probably be fine. And then it turns into a crack and goes, ah, shit.
Can't believe he's all the planning and stuff, and this is what you think of him.
Well, I
Can't
just think he
believe-
has different priorities. Like he doesn't really
That's-
care
Yeah.
that much.
I guess
Yeah.
that's
He's
also
like,
true.
I would invest in stopping this chip on my windshield, but unfortunately, the brakes are failing. I have other priorities.
Which is also
brakes are
fair,
failing.
like that's a fair prioritization to make.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Like,
god!
I feel like-
Yeah, and while he's driving to get the brakes properly fixed, crack.
Wow.
Wow.
Can't believe.
Why
That is absolutely not realistic. Cars.
No.
As someone who's had both their brakes failing and a crack in their windshield, I can tell you that those things are in no way equivalent.
Yeah, that's my point.
Uh.
One is not as bad as the other.
Anyway,
But yes, we should make a list of gear that we want for the to fight the dragon. We should. Okay, and then the safe, I can probably. Yeah, I can send a letter to you have one made. Hopefully.
Well, I will also
so-
point out a letter will not arrive in the place any quicker than you guys will.
No, but like,
It will if we don't set off straight away. Because we can send the letter
True.
right now and then spend time discussing further options if we need to and preparing to leave. And then we can leave. In which case, the letters had several days head start on us.
Yeah, but I guess at that point, several days is not really going to make a massive
Yeah.
difference in how long we'd have to wait
So,
for safe.
my question is, what's the address of the safe maker that you're going to be sending a letter to?
I didn't think we were sending an address to a safe maker. I thought we were sending a letter to someone nearby who we might know who can potentially send word on for us.
Right. Okay. Because I was going to say,
yeah, but, like,
I don't know that you know anyone.
no,
At least that's what I thought the implication was.
Discord cut out most of that for me, but what I was considering is, I'm sure my parents can, or Grimm's parents can figure it out for him.
Your parents can certainly, they know people.
Like they you don't run an inn.
More
and
accurately,
no.
people know them.
Wow.
Well, that can be good or bad. Let's hope it's good. Look, they're an inn. Can't be that bad.
It's highly likely that someone has once gone into their bar, really, really drunk, and just been like, you know what? I've been making locks all day, and I can't be fucked anymore.
That's a weird way of wording that,
Yep.
but sure.
It's fine.
And,
But yeah,
hey, let him go. His wife just left him.
but yeah, I think I don't think I didn't hear what the other people what you all said, but I also think that a letter is a good idea just because we're probably gonna look at some measures to maybe some other measures to deal with the dragon, right? Although I'm not sure what yet.
I mean,
Basically, it's do we want to send the letter or do we want to just go ourselves?
there's
if
no
we-
harm in sending a letter first off, or and using and asking Waldol to
Well,
Well, no,
send a
this is
message.
this is my point. As in, like, do we want to just go right now, like as soon as possible, or do we want to send a letter and further consider options before potentially going ourselves?
Well, see, I don't see the advantage of being there whilst the thing is being made. We would just
so
be there sitting around.
I would point out that if you go through Ardenstar, commission a safe, then head to Emberoth to get your gear made, you're going to be waiting in Emberoth for your gear to get made, and then you can pick up the safe on the way back.
Nailed it.
Or have it delivered is probably smarter.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, if we're gonna travel anyway, we might as well just
Yeah,
get
we
ourselves
need
a
to-
cart.
Yeah, and we need to obviously, have a chat with our martial artist blacksmith.
Yeah. I do admit I don't think we can just ordering. Oh, could you make us some dragon slaying gear? It's not gonna.
But I
Please.
think that a heads up and considering what
Yeah.
said, giving a heads up is probably a good idea since neither of them may be back there if we just head over there now.
Yeah,
That is
exactly.
very true.
We can, it's just, we've got 25 words. What do we want to say?
Well, we should probably mention that we're dealing with a dragon because that conveys a sense of urgency.
Yeah, basically it'll probably be something along the lines of
We
Hey,
have a dragon
help us
problem.
with some gear
Yeah.
to deal with this dragon.
So,
Yes.
We have a dragon problem. If we pop round, can we have stuff?
considering the time, do you guys want to take some time to think about this during the coming week, and we'll call the session here, and then we can.
Yes, please.
Well,
Might
you can send it to Lothari in person and see if Lothari has a response.
Dun dun.
Yeah.
Join us next time.
Huh.
Gee, I wonder if a certain guest appearance is coming back.
Yes.
What? Who would have
Never.
guessed?
It's not like, it's been kind of obvious since a couple episodes ago.
Also, since I basically told you, because
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure Ferrous said it in chat
Yeah.
at some point.
Oh no, he said it's but it also I'm saying this for the benefit of Dave, our one loyal fan.
thanks, Dave.
Nice one,
Dave.
Dave.
Shout out
Thanks,
to
Dave.
Dave.
Shout out to Dave.
Shoutouts to Dave.
Thanks, Dave, for still watching.
The only one.
That one person who drew art and said they were inspired by art that was drawn of Second Age.
Anyway,
Thanks, Dave.
on that tangent,
Thank you, Dave, for showing reruns of television that's been on for several years now. You're a great television channel.
That's fine.
Not
Anyway.
sponsored.
Shall we?
Yes.
Yeah. so with that, I think it's time for us to say thank you all for watching, thank you all for playing, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Dave.